Michelle Obama thinks Stephen A. Smith would make great Real Housewives character. Michelle Obama thinks that Stephen A. Smith would have a good chance at landing a role on any of the Real Housewives shows. On the Thursday, July 31st, episode of her IMO podcast, which she co-hosts with her older brother, Craig Robinson, the former First Lady discussed reality television with guests Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers. Around the 2-minute mark of the episode, the group shared their enjoyment of Bravo's Real Housewives while Obama called reality television a sociological study. Now they think that sports is better than reality TV. I was like, it's the same thing, she said. If I listen to ESPN for an hour, it's like watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's the same drama, and they're yelling at each other, and they don't get along. Shop the brands you love, anytime and anywhere. Uncover what's next. Bye. Collect obsess. She added that First Take host Stephen A. Smith was like every other talk show host. He'd be a great Real Housewife, Rogers joked, to which Obama agreed. So that's why I'm like, what's the difference? It's just sociological drama, she continued. I mean, the fact that people over seasons of working together still can't get along. They still have the same arguments, and it's not just women, but this happens in sports too. I find it fascinating. While Smith hasn't yet gotten a Real Housewives peach, he lived out his soap opera dreams in an April episode of General Hospital. The sports commentator returned as Brick to hilariously shoot a nurse, which he later explained on First Take. I'm supposed to be a surveillance expert for the mob, Smith said. But evidently, I gotta take people out from time to time. The following month, Smith made his Law and Order debut as sports agent Theodore Hunter, who winds up murdered. Complex Con returns to Las Vegas on October 25th to 26th, 2025, with over 300 brands and live performances by Young Thug, YET and Friends, Peso Pluma, Central C, Ken Carson, and more. Get your tickets now. Michelle Obama compares Stephen A. Smith, ESPN to the Real Housewives. Bravo to the former First Lady for this hilarious take. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith got a little taste of his own medicine from someone who used to be much more powerful than the face of the worldwide leader in sports, former First Lady Michelle Obama. Last week, Obama dished on her unexpected love for the glitz and glamour of reality television on a new episode of her podcast, IMO, which she co-hosts with her brother Craig Robinson. She may have not so accidentally taken a swipe at Smith when she hilariously compared the ESPN analyst to a Real Housewife. If I listen to ESPN for an hour, it's like watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Obama said. It's the same drama, and they're yelling at each other, and they don't get along, you know? I mean, Stephen A. Smith, he's just like every other talk show host. He would be a great Real Housewife, guest star, and Las Culturistas co-host Matt Rogers chimed in. He would be. So that's why I'm like, what's the difference? It's just sociological drama, continued Obama. Some enjoy sports, Obama enjoys Bravo. No judgment there. But of course, Smith being Smith couldn't hear his name being said in public without getting a word in, too. Respectfully disagree and still remain pretty salty about what you said about us, Smith said before going on to criticize her husband, Barack, for his recent political comments. If Smith ever decides to run for president, don't expect him to get an endorsement from the Obamas who, along with the rest of America, would likely rather see him on a screen than running the country. More on Sports Illustrated. Commanders trade running back Brian Robinson to Niners. Sports Illustrated's college football preseason top 25. Number 1 Penn State. 2025 college football preseason bowl predictions. Colts name Daniel Jones starting quarterback. Predicting every 2025 college football game for Power 4 and Notre Dame. Jerry Jones tells Stephen A. Smith threes a crowd in Micah Parsons negotiations. Some interesting commentary from the Cowboys owner. Stephen A. Smith scored a sit-down interview with Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, and predictably the conversation revolved around ongoing contract negotiations with Micah Parsons. Jones offered up some interesting commentary on the situation in a way we rarely hear from team management. In the spirit of not doing the whole mother-dad deal, Jones said, "How many times have you seen the little rascal? So clever. Go in there," and Mama told him, You're not going to get it, and goes into Daddy, who only sees him after 5 in the afternoon and wants to love him and says, "You can have it, son. You can have that before dinner." And he goes back in and says, "Mommy, Daddy said I can have it." And so Dad been around since the beginning of time. I'm not going to go for that here. It's no surprise that Jones is taking and maintaining a hard line with Parsons. The way he's choosing to analogize the situation may raise some eyebrows, however. It is a bit unclear who Mom and Dad are in his vignette. The little rascal seems to be his standout defensive player. But there's only one person or side who could agree to pay Parsons the money he's asking for. So it's a bit confusing. "I'm not going for it, no," Jones continued. "We've had a very, very strong negotiation. By the way, frankly, it wouldn't have made any difference what the negotiation was. Guess who has to be comfortable for this to work?" Smith correctly guessed what Jones was driving at by answering Jones and Parsons are the parties who need to be satisfied with any deal before it is agreed upon. Which there is some truth to. But Parsons is certainly not the first Cowboys player Jones has encountered who has representation. So the reluctance to include an agent in discussions feels slightly out of left field. Regardless, it's clear that the owner has no interest in pulling up more seats to the table.